All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone had an amazing weekend, and hope you're having a great morning today. I just want to do a quick sound check. Make sure everyone can hear both Norm and I. Okay.
I can hear you loud and clear, buddy.
All right. Excellent. All right. Perfect. All right, guys. Good morning. So let's get started. Norm, give us an update on. So let me sure I can hear Norm.
Yeah? Can you guys
I
not hear
can't
me?
hear Norm. Oh, that's my fault. Hold on a second, guys. Here we go. Norm.
Yep. You
All right.
there?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the
Yeah.
pre. I got you. Good. All right, man. Good morning. How was your weekend?
It was great. It was great. It's a little boring sitting around the house, isn't it? You can see that I gave myself my COVID cut. Know that I'm not going to be able to make it to the barber for the next 6 weeks or whatever it is. So embraced it and cut it all off. Now my son's begging for the same. My wife's not too thrilled. How about you?
Well, as you can see, man, I have not done anything yet. This is getting pretty bad. Um, my issue is I
That's about
have
as long as your hair's ever gotten, too, man.
it's yeah, I never think I never
That
could
I've
grow
seen
this
it in
much
two
hair.
years.
Absolutely. So it's
Yeah.
as bad as it's ever been. And my issue is I don't actually have equipment. I had a barber, I had a backup barber. I just relied on them so much. So now I gotta get on Amazon and order some stuff. So we'll see how that goes. And it's more interesting. Let's see how the haircut actually goes. That's gonna be funny. So we'll do that. All right, guys. Good morning. Let's take a look at the SPY. See what's going on there. See how the weekend is starting up this morning. Norm, we're slightly up. Well, not slightly. This is actually pretty decent. 3.6, given the type of market
Yeah.
we're in. Give us an update. What's going on here? What's cracking?
Yeah, we've like you said, SPY's up 3.6%. We were actually up a good amount more than this. It's come back a little bit. Couple of things happening here on the news front. A reduction in the increase of growth of coronavirus in New York. Some people being optimistic about that, along with over the weekend, the Saudis and the Russians agreeing to a meeting and some optimism out of President Trump about some potential oil production cuts. Those are the two big things that we've been talking about, obviously, that have had an impact on the market substantially over the last month or so. Some optimism in the market for a resolution of that, and therefore gapping up 3.6% today. So it's going to be another wild week. Um, who knows if we've seen a bottom, if we're going to make a much lower lows, as some are predicting, or what else, or when all this is going to end. But at least a couple of little things that seem to maybe be putting some optimism in investors' eyes right now.
Yeah, absolutely. We surely do need some of that. So great to see a little bounce today. Let's see what we can do. Again, it's going to be an
Yeah.
interesting week, as you mentioned, just to see how this couple of days is going to be. Now that we have somewhat, again, just kind of flying out a little bit. Not saying that we're not going to go down for another leg, but we're kind of consolidating in this area in the SPY, which is interesting to see.
Exactly.
All right, guys, let's get
And there's
over.
no
Yeah.
there's no significant economic data out this morning, and no earnings. So we've got stuff. A lot of it, obviously, huge gappers list. We'll kind of have to do what we've been doing and pick out the most extreme cases,
Hmm.
and then we'll throw it over the room to see if anybody sees anything with a big catalyst.
Yep.
Uh,
Yep.
as far as that goes, and just a reminder, guys, short week. The market's closed on Friday for Good Friday this week.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for the reminder. So again, guys, a lot of green on here, especially from the stocks that we've been watching closely. As you can see, we're gonna focus on. We'll do all the ones that are red this morning. Looks like the airlines are not taking this well. With United, Delta here sitting down negative 2.9, Delta down 6.8, and then Zoom down 11.9. We spoke about that last week. This is their security stuff is being looked into. And eventually, some of these, like for example, I'll give you an example of my personal experience with my school. Their teachers are looking to use something like Google instead of Zoom going forward, just for
Yeah.
because it's going to go long term, and Google seems to be something that the education system has used for a long time, better security. So that's not good news for Zoom. Not saying that this will drop, but again, just what's happening right now that we're
Well,
seeing.
and that's the catalyst. I'll go ahead and throw it out there on Zoom this morning. It's twofold. They got a downgrade this morning out of Credit Suisse, from neutral to underperform with a new price target of 105, which is actually raised, but it's still below the current what it's been trading at and around. And then also, New York City schools actually has banned them from use
Mm,
in their
mm,
system because of the privacy concerns that you
yeah,
just
yeah.
mentioned. So.
Yeah, that's going to be a big issue for them. So we definitely have these guys on our radar today, guys. Let's look at Zoom. This morning, we'll throw it on here. They are down 12% and dropping nicely. Already 508,000 shares traded. So definitely one we'll keep a very close eye on. Let's look at Delta this morning. They are down quite a bit as well. 6.4 this morning. Some good volume. 1.8 million shares traded. So again, they're not doing all that well this morning. It looks like they might be trying to test these lows towards the bottom down here. So we'll definitely keep an eye on Delta. Norm, any significant news on the airlines themselves and what's causing some of this drop, or just overall stuff where people are just obviously not booking any trips?
Yeah, no, there is actually news. So Warren Buffett, head of Berkshire Hathaway, actually came out and he had filings released that he's actually unloaded a chunk of his Delta shares. They still own a substantial amount, but he took a new investment in Delta a little while back, and he's dumped, I don't know, something like 20 some odd million shares. I think
Mm,
he still has 58, 59, 60 million, somewhere like that. Which, when I read it, so on the surface, um, it sounds a little concerning if you're a Delta shareholder and you've got Berkshire just dumping shares. But they bought a bunch of shares recently, and they actually sold them to get under a 10% threshold that a lot of stuff comes required for anybody that has 10% or more of a certain company's stock. So not it's hard to know until we get some kind of a statement if he was just trying to stay below the 10% threshold and it was a quicker a deal and he never intended to have a larger position or what, but that's what's moving that right now.
Gotcha. So definitely Delta has some good volume. Let's take a look at how United is looking like this morning. Not as much volume. Obviously, this could be just a sympathy play with Delta
It
having
is a
the
sympathy,
news.
yeah.
Yeah, so we'll watch Delta today. This definitely's got the volume here at a 1.8 million shares traded with a decent pre-market activity. So definitely worth watching today. Let's go over to the next one, MRNA. This one here, it is down 2.1. Again, this one actually had the last couple of days had a nice pretty bounce here. Again, very uh, man, I don't even know what to look at this chart. Very crappy, really. It's just all over the place. It did get a little bounce here. It is trying to hit some of the highs that we did a couple of back in the February 27. We had a nice high here of 36. Already in the pre-market, we have broken through that. But we are down now 2.1 this morning, 184,000 shares traded. Pre-market is a little bit choppy. Again, I don't know if there's any significant news storm on this one or that we could be watching, but definitely worth keeping an eye on right now.
Yeah, they've had a number of insiders that had shares that have unloaded them into this high price. Apparently, they were all pre-planned sales. It's not uncommon. A lot of times in these smaller companies, um, and not even smaller companies, but in pharmaceutical companies, all kinds of stuff. A lot of these executives take a massive percentage of their overall pay in stock. And to see the moves that mRNA's made recently, I mean, you would do the same thing. It's not necessarily a negative, but that's what I see as dropping in here.
Gotcha. All right, so I think that completes our stocks that are gapping down. Basically, three that I like right now is well, two, Delta and Zoom right now are two really good ones that are gapping down this morning. All right, let's look at the top gapping up. We have one here, 145%. Let's get into that. We'll do the first top five and then down to probably MGM, and then we'll throw it to the chat and see what you guys have this morning that you like on your list. So IMMU, this one is gapping up 145, 1.7 million shares traded. This is not a low flow, it's 174 million shares flow. It is well, it's trading at a low price, hanging around here around 13 bucks, 10 dollars on Friday. Norm, what's the news on this one? We're getting a lot of crazy volume here right now.
Yeah, so they had a phase 3 trial going on for a breast cancer drug. It's kind of a rarer form of breast cancer that doesn't have a lot of chemotherapy treatments.
Mm,
And they were in a phase 3 trial that they actually ended early because it showed such good results. They felt they didn't need to carry on the trial any longer.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's good. Really good news for them. They're definitely gapping up this morning. Again, I'm not these type of pops like this. You got to be very very careful. The ATR today is probably going to be huge, as you can see. Our high of our pre-market, it's at 23. The low, this thing was almost at around 20, just pre-market right now. So again, just want to be very careful with that type of swing and action. So let's see how this develops. Again, crazy volume right now, 1.9 already. So we'll tune into a little bit later, see what that is doing there. Let's go over down to W this morning. W is up 35%, 250,000 shares traded. This is Wayfair. And Wayfair doesn't trade all that great, but today they're having some pretty good
No,
pre-market
it really
activity.
doesn't.
Yeah, it's a horrible stock to trade, at least for the intraday. From our experience watching this, because it's always on our gappers list more often than not. But what's the news today on this one?
Maybe today is the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
So they came out. They this morning they scheduled their earnings release for first quarter, put a date and a time for the call, but they also gave a quick business update talking about how they're working to get to profitability and that they're actually getting a surge in orders and they're well positioned for this coronavirus outbreak. So that is what is popping them today.
All right, excellent. So yeah, definitely worth watching today. They got some good volume, great pre-market activity. My hotkey pens are not working, so I got to figure that out. But again, you can see here some good movement right now. It's got some good volume, 254. So we will definitely keep an eye on this one. Let's look at the next one.
Even
VI.
with this,
Yeah.
and like David's pointing out here, one of our longtime members, even with the smooth pre-market action, it still has a 40-cent spread.
Mm,
So
yeah.
it still tends to be spready. So who knows if this will tighten up? But that's part of the reason it trades like garbage.
Yeah. 40-cent spread, guys, on something like this is not good at all. And you can also see the volume on most days, even on big days like this one here. Look at this big drop. Look how light the volume is. Only 6.2 million shares traded, right? So very light on the volume. You don't get a lot of volatility in this one. So the spread it tends not to be great when you don't have that great volume. Let's take a look at VIR this morning. This one, it is up 32%, 111,000 shares traded. This is 37 million shares flow. So it's not a low flow, but the price action looks like a low flow stock. It doesn't look clean. You can see here we got several choppy breakouts. You can also tell that it's a lower price stock at that. And also look at the volume, how light the volume is on a lot of days. Even on days that you got some really good movement, it's only 6.6. So again, that's a little bit concerning here. We do have a choppy pre-market action. Almost looks like a buyout, but not quite. Norm, anything good happening with this one worth watching?
Yeah, they announced a partnership with GlaxoSmithKline and an investment from them partnering to work on a COVID medication or
All right.
vaccine, I believe,
Okay. All right. So we'll take a look at that,
or
guys.
sorry, treatment.
Treatment. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one issue I have with these is that we usually get this pop and then it doesn't go anywhere from there because obviously nothing's going to change into months to come if it's even going to be successful. So, these are tough catalysts to trade. But if things go well and the buyers are buying in, we can definitely get some momentum plays out of these. Let's go over to PENN and then we'll do MGM next and we'll throw it to the chat room. So PEN here this morning, it is up 11.6. This is, I believe, is a natural gas. Yes, also oil, I believe, or no, energy.
Penn, no, it's
Oh,
Penn
gaming,
National Gaming.
gaming. No, gaming. Excuse me. All right. So what's the news on this one?
Casino. Um, I don't see anything super specific other than some news out of Macau and such that people are starting to go back.
Mm-hmm.
But that's something we discussed last week. So if somebody sees something specific to pin, please throw it out.
Yeah. Now
Same
NG.
thing, MGM.
Yeah, same thing here.
MGM actually was spurred by a bunch of insider buying that was reported.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe a sympathy move there, maybe kind of in the same deal. So
Yeah. What I like about MGM that it tends to have a lot more volume, even on regular days where it's not as active. Look at the volume here, how nice it is. Almost over 20 million shares on all of these days on here. So that tends to be good. Also, we have several breakouts that are very clean. The spread tends to be a little bit better on this stock. So definitely worth. Let's keep an eye on this one. I will not watch Penn. I just don't like the way that one looks right now. Pre-market is very light. Also, the volume is very light. But this one here, 567,000 shares traded so far. You do have a nice little range. Hopefully starting to get going here. Hopefully that continues. We'll come back to and see what we can get out of that. Also on the daily, beautiful possible breakout here. You got a nice resistance over here around 1220. If we could break out of that, we got some room to run to source some moving averages and also previous highs that we have tested here, going back down to 25 and 26 of last month. All right, with that said, guys, Norm, what do you like this morning? Let's go over to you, and then we'll go over to the chats.
I'll throw out a couple others that are up here on this. Did you look at Kodaks?
No, we did not. We did not look at Codex. Take a look at that. Codex today. Is it on here?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, it's right
so
here. Yeah, missed it.
CODX. It's been up there on the gappers. It got an FDA emergency use authorization for a COVID test. So that's been on our watch list almost every day, whether
Yeah.
it's up to the upside or to the downside going on. Um, what else do we have here that I liked? I don't know that I'll trade Kodaks, but we'll see. Space and Hertz kind of look interesting that are up there. Uh, and then I'm going to keep looking and see if I find anything else that's spectacular, man.
Yep, you got it, man. Let me know if you find anything good there. So we'll throw Hertz on here. We'll throw Space. We'll look at those in more detail later on, see if they get any better. Right now they do have volume. They're both above 100,000. Space with 221. And then Space again has been pretty much in a downtrend here the last couple of days, hitting 12, and we're kind of getting somewhat of a bounce here, up 8.1. So this could be an interesting one to watch. We know the stock could be explosive. We've seen it have some really good days before in the past, so we'll keep an eye on that one. All right, let's get over to the chats here. Let's start with our chat room. What do we have? CODX is on our list. INO is being listed here in both chat rooms actually. So INO's got some action going, and we do got some good levels on here.
I
So
was leaving that for people to throw out.
yeah, yeah. What's the latest and greatest on this? It looks like we're trying to get a breakout here.
Yeah, they've got a vaccine that they are going into phase 1 trials on.
Hmm.
The FDA approved them for investigational drug use, and I believe the first tests begin today.
Wow, nice. Nice, nice. So this is moving nicely, guys. Got some really good volume, about to crack 800,000. Looks like you can see the breakout here at 830. And we do have some levels on this one, and we know this one can definitely run. It has done it before, 1080, 1189, 1405, 1597. And right now, I do like, we don't have this level market. I know we're not doing levels right now, but I'm going to mark this one right now, 864. You have 2 days on here as the resistance area, and then this one as the support, the one right in the middle. Let's see what it does when it gets to that level, if it's going to pull back or break out of that. So want to throw that level on there, see how that's going to react when we get there. So this one's looking good, guys. What's the float on INO? Is it a low flow or no? INO. Oops. I'm checking on trade ideas.
INO's 90 million.
No, 90 million. Perfect. All right, so let's throw INO on here, guys. This one is good. What else you guys have this morning? All right, I see some airlines. Actually, let me scroll up. Okay, SQ. Let's take a look at that one by Billy and William giving us SQ here. Let's see what's going on there. So SQ is very active. Let's remove some of these levels. Yeah, we're starting to get some volume here. 296. Yeah, this is worth keeping an eye on. So we'll look at that. Let's take a look at the next one here. I saw Urbano has all the airlines, United, American, and Delta. So I think Delta is the one to watch today, guys. Let's look at American Airlines. I haven't looked at that one. Actually, American Airlines does have great volume too. So you got some good volume here. And actually, pre-market is looking pretty decent. Actually, a little bit better than Delta. Let's just go back. But Delta's definitely got the volume and news behind it. But I like American Airlines, so I'm going to throw that on here. United, the issue with United, sometimes the volume is not all that great. Again, today's going green though, so it's looking pretty decent. But we're not going to watch all 3. It's just way too many. We'll put them on here, but we'll pick the best one out of all of them before we start doing levels. But I know Delta's the one today with the most volume and with the news behind it, but not the best pre-market activity. So interesting. All right, let's look at BA this morning, see what's going on there. All right, BA is nice, guys. We got a really good pre-market activity here, up 5.7, some good volume. Yes, I like BA. We'll look at that. MAR, so William L is giving us MAR. Let's take a look at that. Pre-market's not looking all that great right now. Dailies, okay. Volume is starting to get going. What I don't like about the pre-market is the way it looks a little choppy right now. It is about over 100,000, but you do have some candles with a lot of volume that are not really creating a good pre-market
Not
activity.
smooth volume on that for sure. That
Yeah, yeah, sporadic, right?
all the volumes in a couple of big candles.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
probably a block trade that was a little bit earlier that we're not seeing
Mm-hmm.
that went through on that big run, that big one.
Yeah, this one right here. Sorry, guys, my pen is not working. I'll try to reset it when we do announcements. But right here, this one candle, you can see it's not even a large candle on top of that. So it's definitely one huge trade, just creating that volume there. So not all that good. Let's look at some cruise lines. So we have NL. Oh, excuse me. Here we go. NLCH. You know, I always put that backwards, but it's NCLH. Here we go. So this one here is pre-market is looking okay. These cruise lines have been taking such a hit. Carnival as well. They're all almost close to the that first bottom they did a couple of weeks ago. And this one here again starting to get going a little bit. It's got some good volume. Let's take a look at CCL. CCL has been the one that we've been watching closely. Obviously, this one already with tons of volume, 3.3 million shares traded. I think I'm going to watch CCL. I think out of all the ones that we have been seeing at RCL, RCL actually looks pretty decent. CCL seems to be the one that really has a lot of volume, has given us some really good opportunities to the long side and to the short side. And there's shares for short for the most part. Do we have today CCL? Yeah, there's shares for short, which is great. So yeah, I think CCL will be the one to watch. If anything else gets better, we can definitely switch it when we do announcements. All right, two more here in our chat, and then we'll go over to YouTube. Let's look at Uber this morning, and then we'll look at Microsoft. Uber today, pre-market's okay. We got some volume, but again, we got some good candles here with 81,000. So again, not the best right now. Pretty much moving with the market. Obviously, we don't have a lot of not any significant news behind Uber, not that I'm aware of. Let's take a look at Microsoft, see what's going on there. And Microsoft also seems just very choppy as well. So again, up with the market 4% this morning, as many of these stocks are. If you look at our trade idea scanners here, a lot of it is green this morning. But mainly just because obviously the market is showing a green day. Any green day we can get in this type of situation, things are going to react nicely, as you can see here. So again, not really a fan of Microsoft. We can watch like an AMD. AMD is probably going to get volume as well. Also very similar, very choppy right now. Let's take a look at an MU, see what's going on there. So if you take a look at an MU, again, they're all looking very similar. They're popping up this morning about between 3 to 5%, and they're just going sideways right now. Just kind of figure out what's going to be the next step here. We're going to rally a little bit, hit some of the highs we did a couple of last week and the week before, or we're going to just kind of chop around, just kind of go sideways for a bit here. The market's going to determine a lot of that. This is why you must have a spike chart up just to see how things are going. If things are going to sell off, might not be the best idea to go long on a stock, especially one of these that's going to be following what the market is doing. All right, let's go over to YouTube, see what we have here. So Moody's giving us BSGM this morning. What's happening here? There's a BioSig technology. Right now they're up 7.6, 91,000 shares. I just want to check what the float is on this one. This is 18.6, so it's borderline low flow. Anything under 20 million in our community, at least, we consider low flow, and we want to be extra careful. So right now this had a big day on Friday. Right now, pre-market activity, guys, not looking all that great. And for something with this type of flow, 18.6 over from Trade Ideas, I want to be even extra careful with this type of pre-market activity. I want to see a lot of volume, I want to see a lot of movement on something that's less than 20 million shares, and we're not getting that right now. Does not mean that we cannot have an explosive day here and possibly test this 6.2 area here that we had from about 2 weeks ago. But again, right now, I'm not seeing anything that I love on it at the moment. BA we do have, yeah, it looks pretty good. I like BA, and BA, again, since BA has been down here at this price range between 175 and the lows of 100, it's been trading so clean. It's really nice to watch. So definitely worth keeping an eye on that one. Let's look at ABT this morning. What we have here, pre-market's looking pretty light, guys.
Volume on Abbott this morning.
Yeah, no volume on here. It's gapping up 1.7, but again, not much going on right now. So we'll leave that one for a little bit later. IAG, same situation, guys. Only 2,000 shares traded. No volume. Unless there's any significant news, we're just gonna skip on that one right now. ML, D, the penny stock here. Yeah, it's no good, guys. So this penny stock, we really don't focus on that type of trading. If we do watch anything that's a low flow stock, penny stock, it really has to have an amazing pre-market activity, and it is great if it has a catalyst behind it. Now, INTO is not coming up as a ticker, so just double check that one. Oh, it is, but I'm not getting information populated here. So that's a weird one. I'm just going to skip that one for now. All right, any word on U.S. oil? Let's take a some few of the oil companies. We have Oxy. Oxy was the one actually traded amazing on Friday. Actually, again, I normally do not trade these stocks, but this one was pretty good Friday. We had a really good short here. It looked like it was going to be strong here on the open, but then it turned out to be an amazing short. A lot of us took this short here. So again, it's turned out great. Look at this beautiful drop, beautiful double bottom action here towards the middle of the day, heading towards the close. So again, Oxy was nice. I don't think we might not get that today. Depends on the SPY. But if you want to watch any oil companies, this could be one to watch this morning. All right, last one, LK. Then we'll get to announcements. LK this morning. What do we have here? We're up 2.2. Very choppy pre-market activity right now, but we do got some really good volume. As you know, LK was fun to watch last week, guys, as it plummeted from 26 in the pre-market all the way down to, was it like $4, 4.50? So again, I don't know if they're ready to do a bounce here, close this gap, but just probably chop around. But again, pre-market, it's got some activity here, 1.7 up 1.9, but it looks like it might want to head back down towards the low previous day close here. We'll throw it on here since it has so much action. We'll quickly take a look at it. We might not keep all of these two levels on, but at least we'll take a closer look at that one. Chris, so Chris meant INTC, not INTO. So let's look at INTC. Let's check that one out. So INTC, yeah, it's not doing much right now, guys. Kind of moving with the market, pretty choppy at the moment. So we'll skip on this. And you can see the chop here, just up and down, up and down. Really no nice flow. If you look at Delta, we have a beautiful flow on Delta. Wayfair is nice. MGM starting to get going here. See if we could break that 12. So we have some really good ones here, moving pretty nice. The ones that are choppy, we're going to remove from this list. All right, folks, let's get over to announcements. Kind of give you a heads up of what's going on this week in our community. Norm, take it away.
Yeah, guys. So just a quick weekly rundown of what you can expect here on an ongoing basis at Bearable Traders. Brian will have a swing discussion this afternoon, 2:30 p.m. That actually coincides with the new market close on Wall Street show that Peter and Brian and Mike have been doing. So that is from 3:30 to 4:15 Eastern. Brian will probably shift his his swing discussion back a little bit, maybe fit in with that program. I'll leave it. We'll hear from Brian when he comes back in. As always, Class 1 onboarding tonight at 8 p.m. Tuesday and Thursday, Eamon's trade reviews live in the classroom at noon. And our success webinar this Wednesday will be at 8 p.m. its normal time in the webinar room. As I mentioned, Peter, Brian, and Mike are doing markets close on Wall Street every day this week, except for Friday because the markets are closed 3:30 to 4:15 p.m. Eastern. And they wear funny hats. Let's see here. And then our success webinar. This week we've got Peter on Wednesday talking about his lightning bolt pattern and that strategy that he calls his lightning bolt pattern, trading it. And then next week, Brian Shannon from Alpha Trade will be here to talk about day trading and short-term trading with anchored VWAP. Our in-house psychologist, Dr. Katz, will be talking about how to improve the fear of taking a trade tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. That one is also in the webinar room. And then if you're watching us on YouTube, you'd like to give the chat room a try, you can do so at a discount for a week. Use the promo code PREMARKET24 when you check out for the intro membership. Doesn't auto-renew or turn into any other kind of membership.
All right, excellent. Thanks, Norm. Just going to try to check something here, guys. See if I can fix my hotkeys, but it doesn't seem to be working for my pen here. All right, we'll work with it on a manual basis. I'm just gonna have it right here. All right, guys, so let's go through this list. We have quite a bit. Let's just kind of go through it first and see what do we like this morning. Let's start over with Zoom. So Zoom is good. Great, beautiful pre-market activity. Some nice volume here, so we'll keep that one on. Here is Delta. I like Delta as well. I think this one is good to watch this morning. Let's head down over to mRNA. This one also is looking interesting, getting above the previous day close here. Already made a new recent high. Again, I'm not sure if this all-time high, but recent high over in this area. So let's keep an eye on that one. IMMU dropping down here nicely. It looks like we might have shares for short. Yes, we do. So definitely worth taking a look at that. It's got some good activity. 5 million shares traded already. Wayfair, oh man, is everything gonna be looking good? Wayfair's looking good too, dropping down here. VIR, this one, it's okay. It's okay. Compared to everything else up here, I'm going to remove this one because these all look so great right now with some really good pre-market action, some really nice, besides mRNA, these other ones have a pretty nice spread. Here, VIR does not. This spread is horrible. So I'm going to just remove this one for right now. So let's get rid of that one. MGM this morning's got a good pre-market as well. CODX also very active. I'm gonna remove this one, guys. Again, this could we'll leave it on here. We'll do levels, but I'm not gonna keep it on my final list. Hertz could be a good possible. Right now, it's not showing great activity, so we'll remove it for the moment. SPCE's got some volume on here. Could be great, but let's remove it for now. That's good possible. INO definitely worth watching. Great breakout here in the pre-market, hitting that A64 as we thought that it was going to do. Let's see if it's going to reverse back from this level. Again, we're not making that number up. If you go back here and you look at March 11th and March 13th, it tested that level to the penny. So we're getting some kind of rejection here at A64. SQ not looking all that great right now, guys. We do have 322,000. But two big candles here with a lot of volume, very similar to other stocks that we've seen with that type of volume where the pre-market is not looking great. American Airlines is a beautiful thing right now, so definitely want to keep an eye on that one. United is starting to do the same thing, but I think between Delta and American Airlines, we'll pick the best one out of those. I'm sorry, yeah, Delta and American Airlines will pick the best one out of those two. I'm going to remove United right now. BA also is looking great. This stock has been trading so clean. I love the way it's trading now. Here we go, CCL doing the madness that it does every pre-market. How many times have we seen this, guys, already? So here we got a nice pop here. 1.6 million shares dropped in this 5-minute candle. And last time it did this, not saying that's going to do this now, it sold off the entire open. It just sold right back down, and it hit some of the lows from this first drop, going back to 785. So let's see what happens here, guys. Here's LK. LK will be interesting as well. We got some good movement out of it right now. Again, this is a stock that dropped quite a bit, so they got a good, decent pre-market activity. So again, I think we have a good list. I think we removed probably like 3 or 4, and all of these are looking pretty decent. So let's do some levels, and we'll decide what we're going to keep as we get closer to the 9:30 Eastern time here. So a low of the pre-market right now on the Zoom is going to be 11:30. So we'll put that down on mark that down right over here. That's yeah, there we go. That's close enough. 111 and 36. We'll keep that on there. Below that, we have a beautiful consolidation area right on here. Several days bouncing off this 103.21. Again, that's a big drop. But Zoom does move like that. If you look at the days, it tends to, if it gets going, it can easily hit that 103.21 with no problem. That's the type of movement you get out of Zoom. Right now, pre-market is looking really, really good. Very weak. As you know, this has negative news of privacy issues and companies deciding not to use them going forward and finding alternate software to use here that have been proven to have better security. So at the moment right now, they're dropping nicely towards the top, guys. You got plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Previous day close very close towards the high of the pre-market at the moment, so you're all good there. Towards the bottom, if we break this 103, which I think that's going to be a tough one to do, you have a very nice level here, an area of resistance right over here, a couple of days here using it as support. 1, 2, 3 major support, that 97.81. Let's look at Delta. Delta bouncing back beautifully here. I mean, this thing is looking pretty nice, pretty strong at the moment. The low of the pre-market is sitting all the way down at 20.52. We're at 22 right now and trying to break higher. High of the pre-market sitting at 22.25. We're getting a rejection there right now. Above that, guys, previous day close, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days on the daily. I don't think you really need to add any more towards the top side. And the bottom, look at this 2052 that we tested in the pre-market today. It's almost basically the lows of the 18th to 23rd of last month. Right on, they got a nice area of support. We're doing a very nice bounce off of that this morning with some good volume. This thing is really trying to go green right now. mRNA, guys, I think I might remove this one. I think we have some other ones that look a lot sexier than what this looks right now, unfortunately. If you look at the low of the pre-market sitting at 33.71, we can mark that down. The highs is going to be all the way up to 36.66. We bounced off of that. We did crack the most recent high. Towards the bottom, guys, plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. But again, I'm just not, again, it's not a bad pre-market, but compared to like a Delta, compared to like a Zoom, I think this is one that's going to be off the list for today. Matter of fact, we'll just put it down here as possible. But I think this one can sit on the sidelines for right now. IMMU, this one here is really going up 114 now. Was as high as 150. This one might be a little bit out of my league, guys. Again, the way it's moving now, I might not watch this one. I think it'll be a little, the way I trade will be a little bit difficult to manage the risk on it. And I'm, there's no shame in saying that. We do have a level here at 1977. I do have on a 2630 high of the pre-market. And then look at this 1977. This is a pre-market level. That's not the low of the pre-market, but I marked that because you have several candles here on the 5 minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, bouncing off that 1977. If we go back here and zoom out, you can see how that 1977 is playing support and resistance in several days on the daily chart. So again, an important level for this stock here, as you can see right on there. Below that, you do have 18, another great level. I'm just going to bring my pen over here. You can see several areas just bouncing off of that nicely. Some good reversal action off those levels. So that's a good, nice double bottom here on the daily, and then the takeoff. So that's good. I'm not as fast without my hotkeys here. And then if we go back over here, down another level over here as well, all the way down to 1457, and then one down here around 12. Again, you got several levels on here. Oh, towards the top, guys, also 22, 23 right on there. Nice little peak before it heads back down. But again, very wild right now. 6 million shares traded. This thing is going from all the way from 26 down to 20. So just be very cautious with this one. I'm going to put it down here because I'm not going to have it on my main list to watch this morning. Here's W. So W is starting to get going. Not one of my favorite stocks to trade, but today could be the day that it actually does well. So we'll do some levels for it. And if worst case, I'll put it down as a possible this morning. Our high of our pre-market sitting at flat at 71. Above that, you do have 76.53. And then towards the bottom, you have this gap in between here where the price action is kind of sitting right somewhat in the middle. You have 67.84. And then above that, you do have 64.95, 94, right where the price action is right now. So I'm going to mark that down because I think that could be a good area of support. If we can hold here, we're kind of heading back down towards that area right now. Below that, nice spike here, 61.46, beautiful reversal right back down to this area where it's been consolidating. And then right in here, guys, where you have your highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Do not need to add any more there. So that's W, but I, again, not a huge...
I like,
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta say, like you say, you're not a huge fan. I
Mm-hmm.
like the chart on W as much as anything else this morning.
Yep.
I won't touch it unless that spread gets closer together, though. That's
Yeah,
70. It was been
15. Yeah.
75 cents while you've been talking about it. Now it's 60. So
Yeah, actually, it's more right. I can't count on that. On that those zeros around here. If you look at that 60, oh my God, 66 is the next one that you actually have a whole lot of
yep.
shares. So that's worrisome there. I agree, Norm. I'm going to throw it down here. And if it gets better, we can definitely push it up. Here's MGM this morning. So again, good pre-market activity. You do have a possible nice breakout if we can get going from these pre-market. I'm sorry, from the last 2 highs of the last 2 trading days. That's a barrier right there. You can see several days just cannot get above that. So if you want to mark some levels, we do have here at 14. So we're going to mark that one down. And then one above here at around 15.26. Some good levels there towards the top. Towards the bottom, guys, you got the previous day close and the low from yesterday. And then below that, you have a nice level here at 893. I don't think it'll break down from here because obviously this previous day close has been tested several times and it has held pretty well. So I think MGM has found a good area there. Wow, CODX taking a big hit here, dropping down, losing the pre-market low by creating a new one right now. Your high of your pre-market 1194, so let's mark that down. Again, this is a very choppy daily, so it's not the best one to find levels, but your 13 could be one. You see several days opening and closing around that 1305, so that could be a level there. And then this one here at 1444, you got several days closing and opening right on there, and some of them being rejected of that 1444. But again, this is not the best daily chart to find levels off. So just keep that in mind with these levels, treat them, with caution. Towards the bottom, guys, our low of our pre-market sitting right at, what's that, 1037. So we'll mark that down right there. And then below, you got plenty of levels, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. So we'll see how this one turns out. Again, this is another one that I'm not really a fan of. I haven't been able to trade it well. So I'm just kind of been staying away from it and looking at other stuff. So we'll keep it on here, but might also come down to our possible list. I know I'm definitely want to watch. Very active right now. We know the stock can be explosive. We have some levels for it right now that actually we don't need to add anymore because we've been consolidating over the last couple of days. We have A64, which we have a rejection on right here. We can move it up towards the pre-market high if you like, A75. Above that, 947, 1080, 1189, 1405, and 1597. Again, this thing can really run if it gets going. They do have a catalyst behind it this morning, so that can definitely fuel this to get going towards the upside. Here is American Airlines making a huge move from red to green. Nice double bottom in the pre-market and broke through that previous day close and just been taken off. Our high of our pre-market is topping out here at 977. We might break that. It looks like it wants to keep going towards this high from towards the low of 2 days ago. So let's see what happens here. And then above that, guys, you have highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. These 2 days here has got you covered. Do not need to add anymore. And then this is your, I'm not sure if it's the all-time low, but it's at least a 52-week low right on here around 907. So you basically cover when it comes to as far as levels. Let's look at BA. BA is also very nice towards the bottom. Just marked down the low of the pre-market, 127.47. Sorry, 127.70. The high of the pre-market right now at 133. Looks like it might want to break out of that. And then above that, you have your highs from 2 days ago. Above that, you have the highs from 3 days ago at 144.32. So again, I like BA, guys. I think it's been trading very nice. It's got some good pre-market activity here. You also got some really good volume, 700,000 shares traded. I think it's definitely worth watching. CCL is a nice pop here at around 9 o'clock. We've seen this before from CCL. And sometimes it gets a little tough to trade. It's not easy to read the price action with the way the volume is and the way it's being traded. So right now, high of our pre-market 934 towards the bottom. Highs and lows from the last 2 trading days are creating a beautiful base here. You also got the previous day close down there. Above that, we do have this great level here, 1041. And then from here, you got this moving average at 1103. So I think that's plenty of levels for CCL. Let's see what happens here, guys. Just be cautious because we saw this before, as I mentioned earlier, where we had a beautiful pop. It looked like it was going to be strong and start squeezing some people. And then it just gave out and started selling off for the rest of the day. And this was with the market not selling off. It was just doing its own thing. Again, CCL, obviously, I think it was this day here, if I believe. CCL is doing its own thing, so just be aware of that. Here's LK. So LK, somebody mentioned they're going to have earnings later on today, so that'll be interesting if they do, because we'll see what that looks like after the scandal last week here. So the low of the pre-market right now at 530. Right now, it starts to look good at one point. Started to head up here, head back down. The last couple of minutes has been a little bit choppy here, so I'm not sure what to expect out of it. But let's mark our high of our pre-market all the way up at $6, right, all the way over here. Again, after that, it's just been really choppy and nothing much clean right now. So we'll move it down here towards our possible, and let's fine tune this list a little bit so we could be ready to go for the open. So we have Zoom, which I like. Again, beautiful pre-market activity. Delta, nice here, trying to get on red to green, beautiful thing. MGM is starting to try to break that high. CODX, I'm going to move this one to a possible. For me personally, I don't like to trade this one. I think the other ones are a lot better to watch for me. MGM is good. INO is nice, doing a somewhat of an ABCD pattern here, trying to get back to that 875. American Airlines also moving nicely. As we get closer to 9:30, I'm going to just pick one, either American Airlines or Delta. They both are great, but I don't want to watch both. I think they're going to be moving kind of very similar. I probably pick Delta since it kind of the news is behind that one and it has more volume. You know, I think I just made that decision now, so we'll just change it here. Remove American Airlines. BA is good, guys, and CCL is great. That is what we have, guys. Good list this morning. Very good list. I think we're getting better at dealing with these massive gappers list, Norm. What do you think?
And it's trial by fire.
It is. It absolutely is, because we never had we had big lists before, but nothing like we have had every single day since the coronavirus has broken out the way it has. What do we have there, Norm? Show us.
That's why only one person caught me playing of me pouring this in my Red Bull this morning, and that's why is because that the gappers list.
Yeah, there you go. Excellent stuff, guys.
My last flight home when I saw you a few weeks ago, well, but not a few weeks. Now it's been, I guess, mid-February when we were in New York.
Yeah.
The flight attendant on the way back home, for whatever reason, I did something to help her. She threw me like 5 of these.
Oh,
they were in my
nice.
briefcase.
Nice. That is pretty cool for her to do that. So yeah, guys, this is what we have: Zoom, Delta, MGM, INO, BA, and CCL. Definitely tune in to us today at 4. Kind of go over. Let's say 4 or 3:30. 3:30.
3:30.
3:30, correct.
3:30 to 4:15.
Yeah, 3:30 to 4:15. Peter is on. I believe with Brian. At some point, Norm will probably join him. I will join him. Just kind of hang out with the close with these guys, and we got to figure out what kind of hats we're gonna wear, because that seems to be the theme of the show: funny hats. So. Guys, take care. Trade safe today on this Monday as we start this week. It's time to forget about any mistakes last week and get going on a nice day here to start the week off right. So take care, guys. See you tomorrow, 8:30 Eastern time. Trade safe.
Take care, guys. Trade safe.